In this section of the tutorial, you will learn how to write a chronological resume, as this format is preferred by many employers. We will specifically address each of the following sections of the resume: the header, objective, summary of qualifications, education, experience, and skills sections. When writing a resume, it is important to begin with the header. A header includes your name, address, phone number, email address, and possibly a link to your social media websites. Here is an example. Notice how attention is drawn to the individual's name. The header can be in the center of the page or aligned to the left or right. Some important reminders when writing your header are as follows. This information is the most important on your resume because this is how the employer will contact you to schedule an interview. Make sure the information is placed at the top of your resume, is easy to read, and stands out. You may choose to use all caps, bold, and/or larger font. Be sure to spell check everything. An incomplete phone number or misspelled email address can cost you the interview. All font should be in black. If your email or website defaults to a blue hyperlink, you will need to remove the hyperlink. The phone number you list should have a professional voicemail message. Your email address should also be professional. An email address that includes your first and last name is considered professional. The email address beachlover@yahoo.com is an example of an unprofessional email address. Finally, if you choose to list a link to your website, keep in mind that employers may make hiring decisions based on what they find about you online. Keep your online image clean and professional as well. A well-written resume provides a summary of your skills and background in terms of a specific job or internship objective. To be most effective, your resume should be tailored to emphasize your background as it relates to the job being sought. The objective is a one-line statement indicating the specific job you want or the kind of position you are seeking. Including an objective statement on your resume is optional. However, it will help you write a great resume because it focuses your attention on your goal and gives you a reference point for choosing the most important things to say about yourself. Here are some examples of well-written, specific objective statements. To secure a position as a graphic design intern with Cardiff Graphics. A position as a bank teller with Bank of America. A medical assistant position utilizing research skills and knowledge of social problems confronting the elderly. An example of a poorly written objective statement would be, to secure a position in any field that uses my skills in order to gain experience and grow professionally. This is poorly written because it is not specific and focuses on what the job seeker will get. In this sample resume, the author chose to list an objective statement. When included, the objective should be placed right after the header. A summary of qualifications may be found on a chronological resume. It is a list of your most important assets related specifically to the job for which you are applying. The list should be placed at the top of your resume below your header. If you are including both an objective and a summary of qualifications, the summary of qualifications will be listed after your objective. The summary of qualifications is optional. However, like the objective, it will focus your attention as well as the employer's attention and give you a chance to highlight your most relevant experience. You should use 4 to 5 bullet points emphasizing your experience when creating your summary list. The first letter of each statement should be capitalized, and each statement should end with a period. A good summary of qualifications may include the number of years of experience you have in the field, the education, training, or certification you have completed related to the field, your special knowledge related to the job objective, something about your personal work style or attitude toward the job which would look good to an employer, and an accomplishment or recognition related to the job. In this example, instead of using the heading Summary of Qualifications, the author called the section Highlights. You may also choose to name this section Profile. Notice how each bullet point represents a new, brief idea. In the Education section of your resume, you will indicate the name of the college or colleges you attend or have attended, the location, both city and state, the degree or certificate you plan to receive or have received, if any, your major, and the dates of attendance. You may choose to list your actual or expected graduation date. You may also include a minor or program emphasis if applicable. Consider listing related coursework to support your job objective. If your GPA is above a 3.0, you can include it as well. It is appropriate to include academic honors, for example, the Dean's List. However, be selective in those you decide to include. Do not list your high school information once you have started attending college. Include college work even if you don't plan to get a degree. Your education should be listed in reverse chronological order. Therefore, if you have attended more than one college, list the most recent college attended first. When reviewing this example, please note the information included and the formatting. You may include your overall or cumulative GPA or your GPA within the major, or both. If you choose to list relevant coursework, only include those courses that most closely relate to your job objective. Be sure to list the course title rather than the department and course number. For example, advertising rather than BUS 150. Let's look at one other example. Here, the student is not planning to apply for an associate degree at Palomar before transferring to the four-year university. He chose to list his education after his experience to emphasize his driving experience. Also notice that the education information is organized in the same manner as his work experience. It is important to maintain consistency. The work experience section is an important component of the chronological resume. In this section, you will list each of the positions you have held as well as your accomplishments. Your experience should be listed in reverse chronological order, beginning with your most recent or current position. For each position, you should include your job title, employer, city, state, dates of employment, and at least 3 to 4 bullet statements with action verbs to describe your responsibilities and accomplishments. Paragraphs of information are not recommended as they are not quick and easy to read. It is customary to include relevant work history from the past 10 years. Information in this section is not limited to paid work. You may also include volunteer or internship experience. Another option is to include volunteer and internship experience information in a separate section. If your current work history does not relate to your current objective, you may decide to list a relevant work history section first, including your related work experience. This would be followed by an other work history section, including your current but unrelated work experience. Let's take a look at an example. While looking at this example, please note that each bullet statement begins with an action verb. Action verbs should be used in the present tense when describing a current position or responsibility. When describing previous work history, make sure to use action verbs in the past tense. Do not begin bullet statements with duties included or responsible for or words ending in ing. These are not action verbs, nor do they convey excitement. Also note that the job title and employer are listed on the left-hand side of the page, while dates, city, and state are on the right. There is no rule that resumes are formatted in this way. You can find other examples on the Career Center website. You can decide how to arrange the information you include. Just remember to make the most important information stand out so that it is easy to find. In general, a job title is more important than the dates you held the position. A good way to de-emphasize dates is to list them on the right-hand side of the page. Two more quick points. A period at the end of each statement is recommended to signal the end of a thought. When listing states, always be sure to be consistent. If you have abbreviated the state with uppercase letters in your address, make sure you abbreviate it the same way in your education and work experience sections. If you spell out the state California in your address, do the same in all other sections of your resume. You may want to include a section that highlights your skills on your chronological resume. The skills you list in this section should be related to your job objective and should reflect keywords used in the job announcement. You may include foreign language skills, computer skills, and laboratory skills, for example. Do not include general skills such as communication. There are several ways to format your skills section. Here is one example. There are several optional sections to consider adding to your resume. These include honors or awards you have received, projects you have completed or been a part of, presentations you have given, community service you have performed, associations you have been a member of, activities you have participated in, leadership roles you have held, and athletic teams you have been involved with. Add this information to your resume if it is related to and supports your job objective. If you have prepared your resume including all other sections, the header, objective, summary of qualifications, your education, experience, and skills, and it is not a page in length, be sure to fill out the page by adding some of these additional sections. This concludes the how-to portion of the tutorial. Part 3 reviews how to organize and format your resume and gives you tips and other important reminders to use while preparing your resume. You may continue with Part 3 at this time.